going to get creative. And part of creativity is, instead of going into pain, anything that hurts or doesn't work for your body, think, what can I do here? Right? So let's go into this with that. Thanks for letting me know. Y'all. Okay, sweet. There's always so much to say. Let's come onto the mat. Come into whatever is a comfortable way for you to begin your practice today. Comfortable cross-legged. This is Sukhasana. Sukha meaning sweet or easy. So ideally this seat is sweet. It's easy. It's comfortable for you. Get a blanket, or like I've got a beach towel. I'm going to put that under my hips to raise the hips up just a little bit, right? Feel what you can do right now to make this seat sweet or easy. Sukha, Sukhasana. And then allow yourself to arrive inside of your skin just by feeling your breath. You can close your eyes or keep your eyes open with a soft gaze. And take a moment just sitting and orienting to the space that you're in. You might hear sounds. If your eyes are open, you might see things in front of you. And then begin to follow your breath, breathing in and out. And for more sensory information, you can breathe in and out through your nose. So you can really savor that breath. And then start to elongate your breath. And now that you've been sitting and breathing, feel what is different. Feel what you just did. Just with a few breaths and a moment of quiet stillness. So in our practice today, we get to breathe for creativity. Let's get creative. Those of us that are experiencing an injury, pain, or a tight spot, how can you get creative with that spot? Can you breathe into your spot or around your spot? Our body's always giving us information. So we can listen and honor ourselves as we get creative in our practice. So take another 3 very deep breaths, just sitting, feeling how you are right now. And if you have an injury or a tight spot, connect to that spot. Open your eyes if they are closed. Easy seated twist. Put your right hand on your left knee or keep it on your right knee for a little more open twist. Left hand behind you. Inhale, grow your spine tall. Lift up through the crown of your head. Use your exhale to twist you around, and maybe you look over your left shoulder if it feels good. And then breathing again, breathing the spine into length and using your exhale to twist. And come to center, inhale, and exhale, twist to the other side. So wherever that hand naturally wants to go, put your left hand on the right knee or the left knee, inhale, grow your spine up tall. Use your exhale to twist. And again, inhale and exhale. And release, come back to center, change the cross of your legs, and we'll move into a seated side bend. Take your left hand straight out to the side, reach your right arm up and lean to your left. So you're in this side bend, you can allow your neck to be in a position that feels good. Maybe you look down and just let the chin come down towards the chest a little bit, or let your left ear go towards left shoulder. Draw your left shoulder blade down your back. Bend your left elbow a little bit and feel if you can engage the left shoulder blade muscles. Now breathe into the right side of your body. And if this is, you know, a lot for you to come this deep into it, come up or even go straight up with your right arm, feeling where's your sweet spot, and breathe into that. Take a full breath here. And then exhale, bring your right hand down. So now your hands are they're on either side of your left knee. So you're in a slight twist and a forward fold. And inhale, send your chest towards that left thigh. And then maybe if you have more room to move, walk your hands a little bit further. So feeling where this stretch landed in your body. And then walk your hands in and sit up. Side bend to the second side. Take your right hand straight out to the side. Bend that right elbow, drag it down. Inhale, reach your left arm up. And exhale into your side bend. You can relax your neck. You might be looking down at the earth, or you could let your head hang to the side. Do what feels good on your neck. And then inhaling, feeling the expansion of your ribs, opening up, feel into where it feels really good and breathe into that. And then sweep that hand down and face that right knee, right thigh. And just feel if you get any amount of a forward fold and a little bit of a twist here. Feel what feels good. We're just getting creative about the shapes, the asanas that we'll be doing today, and finding maybe some new and creative ways to practice. All right, walk your hands in, come on up, and then come to all fours. You can pad your knees if you need it. And let's get creative here. So we go into tabletop usually with the hands, the fingers pointing straight ahead. For today, turn your fingertips to point towards your knees. If this is a lot, don't do it, or do one hand at a time. If it feels okay, go for it. You can tuck the toes under, you might lean back. With the toes tucked under, for me, this feels really good and opens up the backs of the toes and gives me a really nice wrist stretch. So just exploring this for a moment, however this is in your body. And then turn your palms face upward with the fingers pointing towards your knees. And then lean back. And this might be an interesting stretch for your forearms. I know it is for me. Feel left to right. How's that? And now turn your palms down, but the fingers facing each other, your elbows out to the sides. And feel how that is on your wrist. And then from here, you can increase that stretch, letting your chest come down between the hands and then pushing yourself back up. So you do a little bit of a push-up. You're in all fours, so not a lot of weight on your upper body and on your wrists, because you're also stretching your wrists and opening up the chest and the collarbones, hopefully in a new way. All right, so that was fun. Now let's turn the fingers to point away from each other and your wrists right underneath your shoulders, and then come down. And if you're like me, you might need to lift the heel of your hand up a little bit to accommodate that. Maybe you're not going very far, just feeling what is true and how we're opening up the wrists and the shoulders. Now let's come back to all fours to a tabletop and move in a little cat-cow. Untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat, and then move into your cow position. Lengthen the tail up, open the chest, the collarbones, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and exhaling round into your Halloween cat. And continue that a few times. Just starting to feel the connection of your breath and movement now. Next, let's come back to all fours and we'll add in a little bit of a balance. You can start by taking your right toes back, keep them on the floor. You can lift your left arm. You can lift the left arm and the right leg. Go to wherever feels good to you. Connect into your core. So you're drawing your lower belly in and up. Press the earth away. And exhale, bring the hand and the knee down. Second side, take the left arm. You can keep the toes down. You can lift up. Right arm goes forward. Press the earth away. Draw your rib cage in and up. Connect to your core. You're looking straight down so that the crown of your head is pointing forward. The spine is long, so you're not letting your head hang. Come back to center. Let's do same thing on the first side. Come on up. Inhale here. And exhale, bring the hand and the knee down. Right arm, left leg. Inhale. And exhale. One more time each side. Inhale, reach out. And exhale, bring it down. Inhale, reach right arm, left leg. And exhale, bring it down. So what we'll be doing from here, going into downward facing dog, and we'll be adding on some movements there. If you ever need to come back to all fours, please come back to this shape. Otherwise, meet me in downward facing dog. And take your little dog on a walk. Bend the knees. If you're on all fours, you could straighten the leg. Bounce back and forth a few times. If you're in downward facing dog, enjoying the stretch of the calf muscle, the back of the leg, and really feeling what you're doing. So start to deepen your breath and focus inward. And then if you are in downward facing dog, find some other movement. So maybe you want to bend both of your knees really deeply, send your hips back to your heels. Maybe you'll come forward to a plank. I invite you to move in a way that feels interesting and fun to you. And if you are on all fours, you're also going to move. Maybe you're going to take it in a circle or a side bend. You could circle out your shoulders, circle out your hips. You have options right now. And you might not stick with the one thing that you first chose. You might be in a downward dog and then you might decide, oh, I want to try being on all fours. Emphasize being playful and creative, right? So experimenting, what does it feel like to circle out your hips? What does it feel like to bend both knees in a downward dog? What if you get down into a crouch in your downward dog? What if both heels in downward dog go to one side and then the other? What happens there? How does that feel? Another couple breaths in whatever you've got going on. And from here, we're going to make our way to a forward fold. So if you're in downward facing dog, walk the hands to the feet or the feet to the hands. If you're on all fours, just coming to a stand and forward folding. If this is okay on your body, take this forward fold. Your feet are hip distance apart and you'll hold opposite elbows. If it's not okay on your body, it's great to just stand up. That's totally cool. And if you have a hold of opposite elbows, you can let your body swing a little bit and shake your head out, yes and no. And if you are standing, because that's what you prefer to do right now, go ahead and go to one side and then the other. Just want to make sure that you can see my head. All right. So you're going over to one side and then the other, or maybe you're letting your body swing and hang out here. Got another couple breaths, feeling into what's feeling good, get creative. And let's meet at the top of your mat. So you'll come on up in some way. You can roll your way up to stand and meet me at the top of the mat. Okay, sun salutations. Inhale, reach up, look up. And then exhale, you choose. You're going to swan dive down. You want to roll your way down, bend the knees. You want to skip it entirely, bend the knees deeply. And you can, from here, step back to a plank. Pause in a plank position. And you can always be on all fours or be in half plank, which is plank, and then you put the knees down. It's different from all fours, though. So feel which one you want to be in. If you're in all fours, you'll bend your elbows just a few inches and come back up. And you can experiment with that. If we're in the plank or the half plank, go ahead and lower your way all the way to the floor, bending your elbows straight back. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and away from the floor the whole way. Everybody that can and wants to meet on the belly for low Cobra. So I like this version of Cobra. It's a little less intense on the spine, good for a warm up. So Nancy, let me know how this goes. Tops of feet pressing into the mat and your hands are about 10 inches in front of you. Grip the floor, bend the elbows, pull your chest forward and up, and you're reaching back through the toes. So just feeling if that feels good. And you're never like throwing your head back. Keep the spine in one long line. So the back of the neck, part of the spine and the neck, you want to keep it long. And then you can come down. So you don't have to come up very high is what I'm saying. And you can position your hands wherever. Let's come up to all fours and then into downward facing dog. If downward dog is not your jam today, you can be in a puppy dog with your knees down. Take a breath here. Exhale everything out. And inhale, look up between your hands. And then as you exhale, you can walk up to where your hands are. You could walk your hands back to your feet if that's simply better for you. You could jump up, get there any way that you can. And let's inhale to a halfway lift and exhale, fold in. And then coming right back up, push down into your feet. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to keep building on that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward. You can swan dive or roll down. Inhale to halfway lift. Hands can be on blocks or on your shins. And then exhale, fold in. Take a full inhalation to step it back to your plank or to all fours. Slowly come down. Low Cobra or regular Cobra. Press tops of feet into the mat. Inhale, open chest. And exhale, come on down. And press back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So you get that foot forward any way it gets there. You can bring your knees down, you can grab the foot, move it forward. You could stay standing and separate your feet and come to this position. So meet me here, warrior two. You got a nice deep bend in your front knee and opening up the hips so that your right knee is opening in a clockwise direction. Take your arms out to the sides and relax your shoulders and shoulder blades down. Let's turn the palms, face them upward with a slight bend in the elbows and just feel how that opened up your chest. So feel the difference when you straighten your arms versus a slight bend and really draw the shoulder blades down your back and open up your chest and your heart. Take a breath here. And reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Backhand down the back leg or on your lower back for support and reach the right arm up. Keep a deep bend in your right knee and lean back as much as feels good to you. You could also just go straight up if that's what feels best. Do that. Push down into your front heel, lengthen the right side ribs. Deepen your breath. From here, come up through warrior two. Put your right forearm onto your thigh. Your left arm in extended side angle goes by your ear. Today, let's do a chest opener. So take your left hand, that's the top arm, instead of going straight up, come down in alignment with your shoulder. And then feel with the palm facing forward the way I'm doing. Feel if you can open up your chest and your heart. And this might feel better with you looking down. It might feel really good to go ahead and follow your left hand with your eyes. Do what feels good to you. And then coming out of that, put your hands down on the mat and put your back knee down. So we're getting creative today. So now the knee is down and you're in a lunge with the knee down. Square off both legs. So your front knee right on top of the heel, back knee right underneath the hip. I need some extra padding, so I'm going to give myself that. Always pad your knees, friends. All right, so coming into a twist. Take your left arm, reach it up. Exhale, bring the left elbow to your right thigh. If that feels like a lot today, put the left hand down. You could also grab your trusty block, put your left hand on a block. So we've got a twisting lunge. Use a block or don't use a block. Put your elbow on the thigh if that feels interesting and fun. Do what feels best. Take a breath. And release your hands down to the mat. And we'll step back to plank. All right, coming down. All the way onto the belly. Put your hands just outside of your shoulders. And you're going to tent your fingers. So you're going to make little spiders with your fingers. And the palms are up. And your elbows are up. And then tops of feet press down into the mat and inhale, you're lifting up into whatever you got. So it doesn't matter how high you come. Your hands are not supporting you fully, just your fingers. So using the strength of your spine and your breath, you're going to go up and down a few times if it feels good. Keep your hands as little tents, little spiders. Inhale, open the chest, and exhale back down. Notice how your elbows move up. And then they move down when you come up. A few more times. If this does not feel good, you stay with Cobra. Okay, any Cobra that's going to work. Doing a little shoulder opening, little playful. Finish and come back into downward facing dog. Warrior 2 on the second side. Step your left foot forward, separate your legs wide, come into a stand in Warrior 2. Any way you get there is fantastic. Take a moment, feel how strong and powerful your legs are. Left knee opening up counterclockwise towards the pinky toe. Bend the elbows a little bit, open up the palms, feel that nice open chest and heart. Take a breath into that. Peaceful warrior, back hand down the back leg. Inhale, lift that left hand up, lean on back, create space on the side body. Come up through Warrior 2. Extended side angle with a variation. Left forearm on the thigh. Let's open up the chest. So the hand goes in line with your shoulder. So it's down a few inches from the shoulder line. Palm facing forward. Opening up the chest by leaning your heart open. And only go as far as feels good. This is meant to be fun and creative. So if it's not fun, what would be fun for you? Do that, okay? So inhale, open up the chest, open the heart. Maybe you shift like that does not feel fun on my neck to look in that direction. So I'm gonna look down because that was like yucky when I did that, but it was great on the other side. Take a breath. All right, sweep the hand down, bring your back knee down, set up in that lunge. And use your block if you want. So you've got a squared off lunge, both legs are at 90. Take that right arm up, inhale. Exhale, put right hand onto the block or right elbow onto the thigh and take your twist and enjoy twisting it out. Where does it feel really good to you? And if you can't find a spot, maybe you need to change it. and release. Unwind, step back to your plank and make your way down onto your belly. Coming up into Locust Shalabhasana, unless it hurts your body or doesn't feel good. So variations, you can come up just the upper body, keep the feet down, maybe that feels good. You could tuck the toes under and reach back through the heels, that could be an option, or you lift the hands, the feet, and your heart. So find one that's gonna work, or do Cobra. And release, come down, head on back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands, coming into warrior one. So in first warrior, hips are neutral, facing the front edge of the mat. You still have one foot further forward than the other. So if this is an issue for your lower back or your hips, just decrease the space. Come in a little bit less deep into it. This is fine. You're working with your body. That's yoga, right? We get to know ourselves really well in this practice. Eagle arms, friends. So put your left elbow on top of the right. Left elbow on top of right, right arm under. If the hands can come together, you do that. Maybe you hold on. My right hand holds on to left thumb. That feels interesting. Play with it, including give yourself a hug. Put your hands on your shoulders if that's the best way for you. Move your elbows forward and up, lifting your chest and your heart. So feeling for your connection down through your legs. Your legs are your strength and stability. And then allow the breath to rise up all the way up to the heart as you lift your elbows and your eagle arms up. Take a breath into that. And then release the arms and reach back behind your back and interlace your hands. Humble warrior. Lift the chest as you inhale. And as you exhale, come forward. You can rest on the front thigh or let your upper body hang to the inside of the thigh. You're opening up your hips and your shoulders in this variation. So if this is not a great variation for you, get creative. What can you change? You could let go of the hands, put the hands down. You could rest on top of the front thigh. You could have your hands here by your side. Do what feels good, including not doing. Always fine. Take a breath into whatever you got going on. And release. Put your hands down. Put your back knee down. All right, so this next one I'm going to show you from different angles. Lounge lunge, if you know it, you're doing it. So you're in a lunge, but there's a lounging of your left side. So I'm going to walk my left hand forward and out to the left of the mat. Now I'm going to bring my left ribs towards the hand. So you see that from this angle. My right arm can come here and cup the front of the knee and bring this in like a little wing into your body and feel if that feels good. All right. From another angle, looks like this. From the back. And everybody's going to feel this in a different place. You might feel it here in the left ribs. You might feel it in the outer right butt, inner groin, inner thigh, hips. A lot of different places. There's never one right way, other than the way that feels good to you. No pain. Whatever you got going on, breathe into it. And slowly release. And you're going to head back and come down onto your belly. Interlace your fingers. Lift the feet, the hands, and the heart, and come up. Release and head back to downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Heels are lined up with your hips, and you don't have to take as wide a stride. Reach up with your arms, take that right elbow on top of the left elbow under, eagle arms or a self hug, and then feel the strength and power of your legs. So get down into your leg awareness, pushing down into the front heel. Move your elbows and your arms forward and up, and breathe here. Just taking a moment of discovery, feel. And release, reach behind your back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, open the chest and the heart. And exhale, fold forward. Let your body hang out to the inside of that front thigh. Or right on the thigh, you can let the hands go. Hands can come down, they can be at your hips. Deepen your breath. Release. All right, walk your right hand forward and out. This is that loungy lunge. Find a way that this feels good. For those of you that this might be a lot on your wrist, block and your forearm on the block. Try that if that works. All right, release, come on back to all fours. Dolphin pose, one of my favorite all-time poses, dolphin pose, it's a downward dog on the forearms. All right, if that is like, oh, I've done that a gazillion times, I'm gonna suggest today that you try dolphin. Instead of forearms parallel, turn the palms upward and do dolphin with your palms facing upward. So the forearms are parallel. If you haven't yet gotten to a place where your forearms, palms down are parallel, then either work with palms down parallel or interlace your fingers. The palms up variation is a really interesting line of energy. As you move your thumbs away from each other, if your palms are up, send the thumbs away. That's going to open up. So you're opening up your chest like this. So this line is directly across your chest. Those are your pecs, and we're working pec minor here a lot. So opening up the palms, send the thumbs away. If you're doing that, cool. You might try it. First time I tried this, I came up for like a breath and it was like a crumbly mess. And I came down and I was like, wow, that was hard. And then I kept working on it, right? So just something to try if you want. And if you're like, no, I hate that, never any pain. You come into forearms. You can clasp the hands or have the palms down. I want you to figure out 1 or 2 breaths in whatever you got going on and just feel, arrive. And release down and head on back to downward facing dog. All right, from downward facing dog, bring your right foot forward into warrior 1. For this one, archer arms, Gomukhasana arms. So your left arm is up, pat yourself on the back. Take the right hand to the left elbow. From the front, looks like this on my body. So I've got right hand on left elbow. From the back, maybe you can bind, okay? Or grab clothing. So you're in warrior 1, left elbow is up. Maybe you have a hold of that elbow. Maybe your right hand is coming up the back and you're grabbing something. Doesn't matter what. It could be a strap, could be a towel, a sweatshirt, clothing. All right, let's take a moment and just be here in this shoulder opening variation of warrior one. And then release and bring your hands down to the mat and walk your hands to the center. So you're going to turn and face that long edge of your mat. Now adjust your feet. So your feet are on an imaginary line, all 10 toes pointing towards this long edge of your mat. Grab onto your left leg and arc. You're going to twist away from the leg. So if you can't yet hold the leg, maybe your hands are on the floor and you're pushing your right rib cage, the right side of your body, into a side bend. And if you have a little more flexibility, you might even be turning away from the leg. So my right ear is underneath my right arm. It's twisty, my friends. So if it feels weird, maybe you take a quick look at me, or maybe that's more confusing. Do what feels good. You have a forward fold and a twist, big posture. Let's take another breath here, whatever you got going on, it's great. And then you're gonna unwind and walk it back up to the front of the mat for pigeon. So pigeon, if that is a good idea in your body, you're gonna cross that right foot all the way across, square your hips, slide a blanket or a towel underneath your right hip to elevate it a little bit. Highly recommend. Never any pain in your knee. There shouldn't be actually weight in your knee. If you're really flexible, when you come forward, there might be some weight in your knee. So check that out and walk it back up. You can always flex the right foot. You can put your hand there and push your right foot into your hand. That'll turn on the muscles of your right leg and outer right hip. That's more for folks who are really super flexible. For others, you're like, oh my gosh, why would I add anything to this pose? It's the best. If that is true for you, go for it. If this is not the best pose for you, those are some things to try, including not doing it. Lay down on your back and do figure 4, supine pigeon. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I'm talking a lot at you. Take a breath. All right, from here, friends, if you're sitting on something, move it out. You're gonna help your back leg, your left leg, bring it around. So that left leg goes to the outside of your right knee, shape shifting, and we're gonna twist to the left. Take your right arm, reach it up, inhale, and exhale, twist. So just pausing and feeling. Breathing for creativity. We're just getting creative with the sequence, with the way that we're bringing the postures together, still following the asana arc, those of you that know it and love it. Take a deep inhale to lengthen and use your exhale to twist. All right, unwind, unwrap, step on back all the way to downward facing dog. Second side, left leg coming forward, all the way back into warrior one with archer arms, Gomukhasana arms. So your right arm is up, pat yourself on the back, left hand to right elbow. You might hang out there, great shoulder opening, or the left hand coming up the back. Grab something and take a few breaths here. How's your body? How's your breath? Does anything feel different, feel new? Celebrate that, right? Your creativity comes from trying new things, from finding out what you can do. All right, from here, releasing the hands. And remember, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna turn on my mat. So the hands come down and we walk. Hands to the center, turn your feet around, so all 10 toes pointing same direction. Now walk your hands to your right leg and twist open to the left, away from that right leg, opening up the left side of your body. Unwind, walk it up to pigeon. And you get to sit down. And if you're walking into a forward fold, awesome. Things to try, especially knee folks, you're gonna lay down on your back and not do it, or slide a blanket underneath your left hip. You can also activate the muscles by pressing your left foot into your right hand, flexing the foot and using the muscles of the outer hip. For SI folks, pigeon can be a really good friend. It can also not work. So if pigeon doesn't work, I would say a forward fold with the legs doing the same thing, or laying on the back. Lay on the back, supine pigeon, likely better on sacrum. And with support, foot on the wall. All right, friends, from where you are, you're gonna walk it in, you're gonna bring your right leg around to the outside of the left foot, and inhale your left arm up, and exhale, twist to the right. And release. From there, make your way to a stand any way that you can. We're going to stand all the way up. And play with eagle. So we've opened up the hips. We've done really playful things with the opening of the upper back, the shoulders. And now we're going to incorporate all of that into a balancing posture. You can use a block. You can use the wall, or balance in the middle of the room. I've got a wall here. I can come in front of the wall and I can sit my butt back, and then I can cross the ankle over and I'm supported, right? You can do the arms or no arms. You can use a block. I'm crossing my right thigh over and putting my foot on the block. That creates some real stability for me. Left elbow is on top. Right elbow, right thigh on top, left elbow on top. Do opposites. And if you're playing with balance and you want to play, you can come down, bringing your elbows forward of your front knee, and you can come up. Squeeze the legs together, turn on your core. So you're doing some like eagle crunches. And if that does not work for you, hey, I just fell, come back into it. Feel free to play. And feel how much, when you're doing the eagle crunches, how much squeezing your legs together helps. Huh. Let's go to the second side when you're ready. Balancing poses, such great teachers of being focused. Like I'm looking at all of you and I fall over, right? Or that moment where you think, what am I going to have for dinner? And then you fall out, right? Keeps us honest. Take that left thigh around. Right elbow on top. Harder side for me, for sure. So you're sitting down, squeeze the legs. It's not just the upper back that's working. You're squeezing the legs and you're kind of squatting down as you're moving forward and then standing up again. So you're really working core. It's not so much hinging at the lower back. That was hard, huh? All right. Okay. Let's come out and enjoy coming into a squat. So you're going to come into Malasana, turn your toes out, your heels in, and come down into a squat. And if this is a challenging position for you, great thing to practice. And you can take your blanket and roll up the blanket if you need it to be a little higher, and put it underneath your heels, right? You can also sit on a block. Malasana can be in any one of those shapes. Take a few breaths. If you're like barely holding on, maybe you stay here, maybe put the hands down and lift your hips and come back in. If you're here with me, take your right arm forward, open your left arm, come into that chest opener and feel that, and bring a little more weight to the left sit bone. So you're leading to the right and opening to the left. And you might wrap the arms around that thigh. That's accessible. Feel that. All right, great job, everybody. Let's go to the second side. And remember, you can come out of it, you can come back in. Maybe you can bind. All right, from wherever you are, come on down. You survived. Have a seat. Well done, everybody. Take a moment. Open the legs wide, Upavishta, Konasana. You could sit your hips up a little bit taller. Knees and toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Push through the inner leg length. From your inner groin, push out through the arches of your feet. So your feet are not just flexed. You're pushing through the heel and the ball of the foot at the same time, and the arch. All right, so if you have room to move, walk your hands forward any amount. And breathe here. Gently walk your hands in, help your legs together, and make your way onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. All right. For a twist today, I'm going to suggest eagle legs. Since we played an eagle, take your right thigh, wrap it around the left thigh. You could shimmy your hips a little to the right. You're going to send your knees to the left. Arms are in a T. You can shift your gaze to the right and stay and breathe. Unwind your legs, come on back onto your back, and then shift your weight over to the left thigh on top of the right, and then move your knees to the right and twist. From here, unwind your legs, shimmy your hips back, line up your hips and your shoulders so your spine's in one line. You can hang out here for a few breaths in constructive rest. You can hug your knees into your chest, cross the left ankle over the right and hug in. If you like happy baby and that feels good in your body, do happy baby if you want. And if you're in the crossed ankles, with the left ankle on top, you can stay here for a few breaths and then cross the right ankle on top. And then finally, make your way to Shavasana. Take your much needed rest today. And I'll bring us out of Shavasana in a few minutes. Take some deep breaths and feel yourself arriving inside of your skin. And maybe you can feel immediately what feels different right now. Or maybe it takes a few breaths. Just get a sense of how you are right now and how that's different from when we began our practice tonight. And really, over the next several breaths, you can make your way to a seated position. You can move any way that feels good or creative to you in closing our creativity practice this evening. And once you're seated, if you're seated, maybe your hands come to your heart in a way that feels authentic to you. And just each of us, wherever you are, however you are right now, just take a breath in and out into your heart. And exhale it out. And just honor that spark, that creativity that we all, each of us, has inside of us that often just spurs us on to greater things or picks us up off the floor or helps us see something in a new light or have a laugh or figure out how to heal an injury. Yeah. May you be well, my friends, and walk your right road, and may you be safe and healthy, and may there be peace. All right, my friends, that was super fun.